What if the real battle in Evangelion wasn't against angels, but against yourself? In Neon Genesis Evangelion, the apocalypse is just the backdrop. The real story unfolds inside the fragile mind of a 14-year-old boy, Shinji Ikari. Today, we're diving into Shinji's psychology and how his greatest enemy isn't an angel, but his own fear of self-worth. Throughout the series, Shinji is trapped in what philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer described as the hedgehog's dilemma. Hedgehogs want warmth, but when they get too close, they hurt each other with their spines. Shinji wants connection. He wants approval. He wants love, especially from his distant father, Gendo Ikari. But every time he reaches out, he fears rejection, so he retreats. He pilots Evangelion Unit 01 not because he believes in himself, but because he's desperate to be needed. His core belief isn't, "I can do this." It's, "If I don't do this, I'm worthless." That's not courage. That's conditional existence. Shinji doesn't hate himself in the loud, dramatic way we often see in fiction. His struggle is quieter and more realistic. He believes his value depends entirely on external validation. When he succeeds, he feels temporary relief. When he fails, or even thinks he might fail, he collapses inward. Psychologically, this mirrors what modern therapy calls conditional self-esteem. Your worth is tied to performance, approval, or usefulness. Shinji doesn't ask, "Who am I?" He asks, "Do I deserve to exist?" That's why he runs away. Not because he's weak, but because if he stays and fails, it confirms his deepest fear, that he is fundamentally unworthy of love. In the end of Evangelion, human boundaries begin to dissolve. Individual identities blur into one shared consciousness. This is the human Instrumentality Project. On the surface, it promises freedom from loneliness. No rejection, no misunderstanding, no emotional pain. But psychologically, it represents something terrifying: the erasure of the individual self to escape the risk of being hurt. If no one is separate, no one can reject you. But if no one is separate, you also lose the chance to be loved for who you truly are. Shinji is forced to confront the ultimate question. Is it better to exist and risk pain, or erase yourself to avoid it? At the climax, Shinji makes a subtle but profound decision. He chooses individuality. He chooses a world where people can hurt him. Why? Because connection only has meaning if separation exists. In that moment, Shinji takes his first step toward unconditional self-worth. Not, "I am valuable because I pilot Eva." Not, "I am valuable because Father needs me," but simply, "I can exist." That choice is existential in the tradition of Jean-Paul Sartre. Existence precedes essence. You are not born with value assigned by others. You create it by choosing to exist despite fear. Shinji Ikari isn't weak. He's painfully human. And maybe that's why Neon Genesis Evangelion still resonates decades later. Because deep down, many of us aren't fighting angels. We're fighting the fear that we were never worthy to begin with.